Alright guys, so we have an interesting story in the light of Disney's woke version of Lightyear, the Toy Story spinoff, which features two women kissing, right? A lesbian kissing scene flopping at the movie theaters, okay? Underperforming at the box office, right? And the mainstream liberal media, especially Hollywood, has been making all types of excuses for why in the world Disney's Toy Story spinoff has failed, okay? I mean, there's been all kinds of excuses out there, okay? But we all know why woke Lightyear failed. Well, the reason why they failed is because people are tired of wokeness. People don't want to take their kids and their families to see a movie that's supposed to be for children where you have two women kissing. You have a lesbian kissing scene, okay? And despite Lightyear failing at the box office, Disney has doubled down on wokeness and pushing gay kissing scenes and gay relationships in their children's movies because they're coming out with a movie that's going to feature a gay couple, okay? They're also pushing a spinoff of Big Hero 6 using their character Baymax, who's a healthcare robot, okay? And one of the scenes from this series featuring Baymax, they're talking about men having periods, okay? They're pushing this idea that men can have periods.
Excuse me, which of these products would you recommend?
Oh, well, these are the tampons I usually use.
Thank you.
I prefer pads. They're more comfortable for me.
Thank you.
I always get the ones with wings.
Thank you.
Get unscented and bleach-free if you can.
Thank you.
Yo, my daughter loves these.
Thank you.
These might be easier if it's her first period.
Thank
These are really environmentally friendly.
Okay, not to mention, they also have a scene in this children's series where they have a grown man asking another grown man out on a date.
Hey, Vita. What, no fish?
Not today, Yukio. Also, I think it would be fun if me and you went to a place, or perhaps a thing, together.
Are you asking me on a date?
Your pulse and heartbeat have quickened.
No? Yes. Yes.
Great. Sounds fun.
Your pituitary gland is secreting hormones
Okay,
into your
Baymax, thank
bloodstream.
you. That is enough of that. Hey, is that an apple?
Yeah. It's a Pacific Rose. Have you ever had one of these? Really sweet.
You are in good health.
Again, this is not stuff that parents want their children to watch. However, Disney, who produces children's content, is trying to push this on kids. They're literally alienating half of their audience, and stories like this is examples of what happens when you do that. The not woke competitors severely outperform the woke competitors because we know there's no market for woke cartoons. There's no market for it. As Minions, the Rise of Gru tops 108 million as parents flock back to cinemas, kids in tow. It's gonna earn about 129 million over the 4-day weekend, basically making it the highest grossing July 4th opening film ever, okay? Surpassing Transformers Dark Side of the Moon, which premiered in 2011. Okay, so this film is breaking records. I wonder why this is happening, right? Again, they told us that families weren't going to movie theaters. That's why they didn't go see Lightyear. Okay, it wasn't a problem with Lightyear. It was about families. It was about the habits of moviegoers. You know, maybe it's still the pandemic. You know, maybe it's, I don't know, Russia, right? You know, maybe it's all types of stuff. Okay, everything except the fact that, again, there's no market for woke children's content. I'm telling you. So let's read about this because the disparity between how well Minions perform versus how bad Lightyear performed is absolutely embarrassing for Disney. And it should send them the same message that hopefully Netflix got, right, when they lost all their subscribers in the first quarter of this year, and they're on track to lose millions of more subscribers, okay? They had to do a woke purge because they realized that letting the woke revolutionaries dictate the product of your company is not a good idea, right? They represent a very small portion of the population for a reason. This stuff is not mainstream. People don't want to see this stuff. So anyways, let's read about this. Families have gone bananas for Minions: The Rise of Gru. Over the weekend, the Universal and Illumination animated feature tallied more than 108 million in ticket sales. The fifth film in the Despicable Me franchise generated an additional 93.7 million from international markets, bringing its estimated opening weekend haul to 202 million globally. Quote, with the incredible success of Minions, the notion that family audiences were avoiding movie theaters due to COVID concerns can be shelved, said Paul, I don't know his last name, I'm not going to try to pronounce it, senior media analyst at ComScore. Okay, so I always thought that the idea that families are avoiding movie theaters because of COVID was ridiculous, right? It's ridiculous. I mean, look, here's the thing. The pandemic, because of YouTube rules, I can't really say it directly, but let's just put it this way, right? I don't think all that many people are worried about COVID anymore, okay? For the most part, mostly, if not all of the rules and the mandates associated with COVID have been lifted. I don't think most American people think about that anymore in regards to whether or not they should go out and enjoy life, okay? I don't think that's the case. But let's read more here. Box office analysts had wondered if this segment of moviegoers was still avoiding cinemas after Disney and Pixar's Lightyear took in just 51 million during its debut launch last month, below expectations of 70 million and 85 million. Okay, so I want y'all to understand here. Minions from Universal, not Disney. Universal, again, a comparable film, okay? One of these like CGI animated films, okay? Children's films, again, very comparable. Double Disney's Lightyear doing its opening box office debut, okay? And we're talking about domestic numbers, okay? Now, in regards to date, Minions internationally has grossed over, what did it say up here, 200 some million? 202 million globally, and that's just during the opening weekend. While Lightyear has grossed only 155 million, and that movie has been out for 3 weeks. So Not Woke Minions has outperformed Woke Lightyear in 3 days during its opening weekend more than Lightyear has in 3 weeks. 3 weeks. Again, this is embarrassing. This is embarrassing. This is sending a strong message to, I don't know, man, those project managers at Disney, letting them know that, hey, you know, this is not the way forward, right? People are not feeling this. People are not feeling this. And it's crazy because, look, I don't think that Minions has a bigger name than Toy Story, right? The Toy Story franchise is iconic. And for a Toy Story spinoff to underperform the way it has compared to, you know, something like Minions, who, again, I'm not saying is unpopular. It's definitely very popular, the Despicable Me franchise. But still, I don't think that it's better than Toy Story. I don't think it's more iconic. I don't think more people know about that than Toy Story. Okay? Again, this is a very, 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 very strong message to Disney and the idea that there's a market for woke children's content, especially children's content featuring same-sex relationships and kissing, right? I don't think that there's a market for it. I really don't, okay? Again, Disney is going to learn a hard lesson like Netflix, okay? Because they're letting their woke employees drive the product of their company, and that's just not how things should work. Because ultimately, they're not looking out for the company's bottom line. They're looking out for their progressive agenda. It was unclear if tough box office competition led to Lightyear's less than stellar debut, or if consumers were confused about the film's release. After all, there has not been a theatrical release of a Pixar film since 2020's Onward. The last 3 from the animation studio Soul, Luca, and Turning Red were all released on streaming service Disney+. No, that's not it. That's not it, CNBC. Again, I love how these mainstream liberal media outlets want to make every excuse except the fact that parents don't want to send their kids to watch a movie with lesbians kissing, right? I'm just being real, okay? And that's why I read from these mainstream liberal outlets, because it just shows you how silly they are and just all the excuses they're making for something that, you know, again, it's obvious why Lightyear has failed. It's obvious. Minions, The Rise of Gru, represented 54% of all domestic moviegoers over the weekend, with 68% of ticket holders being part of family groups, according to data from Intelligence. Quote, what this weekend has showcased is a triumphant return to cinemas by families, laying to rest any lingering outdated pandemic narrative that parents and kids only want to watch movies at home, said Sean Robbins, chief analyst at boxoffice.com. Quote, when the right content is out there, people will show up. Facts. The film is expected to add another 20 million in ticket sales in the U.S. and Canada on Monday, bringing its holiday weekend total to 228 million. Yeah, so it cost Disney like $200 million to produce Lightyear, right? And I think they've only grossed, what, 155 some million or so. So that movie probably is not going to make them any money, right? Most likely that movie is going to be a wash for them, and Minions is going to make a whole lot of money for Universal, okay? Again, I think it's simple here in regards to what's going on. It doesn't take a rocket science to figure out that a not woke kids movie outperformed a woke kids movie because people simply don't want to see woke children's content, especially content featuring same-sex relationship and kissing. I'm telling you, it is a small market, okay? Nobody wants to see that for a reason. It is what it is. It has nothing to do with being homophobic, transphobic, any of that stuff. It's just simply that people don't want to see it. They don't want their kids to be exposed to this stuff. It is what it is. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.